Good evening. Before I begin, I'd like to just say that Adam not only is a good writer over here, but he's also a good actor. He was in Hello, Dolly last week, and he did a very fine job. He's a great kid, let me tell you. Great boy. Good evening. As you may know, my name is John Vatavuk, and I am one of your current county commissioners, but many of you do not know a lot about me. My wife Janet and I have been married for 40 years, and if the world doesn't come to an end on May 21st as predicted, we will have made it 41 years on May 23rd. We have 2 grown children, Mike and Shelley. We are the proud grandparents of 4 grandchildren, 2 of which, Lisa and Joey, you may have heard playing in the band Soul Muffins. The younger ones, Seth and Sierra, are 9 and 5 and are involved in scouting, sports, and swimming. I was graduated from Conemaugh Township in 1967, attended the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown, and I'm proud to say I was part of the first class to be graduated from the local Johnstown campus. In the fall of 1971, I began my teaching career in the North Star School District, where I taught for 36 years. In 1989, I ran as a write-in candidate for the Wimber Area School Board and received 300 votes on a write-in the old-fashioned way. In 1990, I was an unsuccessful candidate for the 70th Legislative House District. As many of you may know by now, in 2007, I was a successful candidate for County Commissioner, and the rest, as they say, is history. I have found the office to be very rewarding, but certainly not without its challenges. My training as a member of the Wimber Area School Board for 16 years made the transition to Commissioner easier than it might have been had I not had those experiences. I might add that when I was first elected to the board, the school had a $7 million surplus. When I retired in 2005, the school had a $17 million surplus, a new elementary school, and had remodeled the high school, middle school twice. These surpluses help to keep our school taxes at the lowest level of any school district in Somerset County and many across the state. And we, in fact, lowered taxes twice while I served on the school board. I don't take credit for all of that, or even most of it, but the fact is that I was president of the school board there for 13 years in a row while all of this happened. I attend the St. Thomas Lutheran Church, and every week I still teach Sunday school, and 2 Sundays a month. The last 3 years have been the busiest 3 years of my life. Every new job creates its challenges, and believe me, this job has presented plenty of challenges. It took a year or so just to learn the inner workings of the office, and I'm still learning. One of the most important lessons I learned early on was how to compromise. Having been married 37 years, I had an idea of what compromise was about. Except for this job, you must work day and day with 2 other commissioners to accomplish what you think is best for the residents of Somerset County. I would be lying to you if I said we always agreed on everything, and it hasn't always been easy. But regardless, we all support and believe in the democratic process, and after the votes are taken, we support the rule of the majority. I'm especially proud of my work ethic and attendance. In 3 years, I have not missed 1 day for illness, and have taken less than 10 days vacation each of the 3 years. I did miss 1 day for snow, February the 10th, the day the county shut down because of the blizzard warnings. I have missed only 2 commissioner meetings, both times I was out of town on business for the county, once in Washington, D.C. with the North-South Coalition, and once with USS Somerset. I even schedule my yearly vacations around our meetings. I serve on many committees and take pride in my attendance at those meetings as well. One of my mottos is never give up. While working with Verizon on the Confluence cell tower, one of their employees who didn't return my calls later apologized and said he knew I would be getting back to him because, and I quote, "You are relentless." As a member of the Conservation District Board, I made a suggestion that we try something different and give an across-the-board raise rather than a percentage increase. The board liked the idea and the last several years has given each employee an equal raise, which will help to close the gap between the youngest and the most senior employees. I've taken great pride in my entire life in trying to be fair and attempting to keep everyone happy. In March, I was appointed to the board of directors of the Stony Creek River Improvement Project, of which I was a charter member way back in 1990. By the way, the Script is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year and has a full slate of activities planned, which some of you may wish to participate. I serve as a liaison to a number of EMA committees, including 911 Advisory Board, the Local Emergency Planning Committee, and the Job Task Force. I also serve as a liaison to 5 human service committees, including the CYS Advisory Board, the Child Death Review Team, the Multidisciplinary Team, the Salisbury Area Family Center, and the MHMR Advisory Board. I suppose because of my educational background, I was asked and agreed to serve on the Penn Highlands Liberal Arts Board and later on the Penn Highlands Advisory Board of Somerset campus. During the 2007 election, I had two priority agenda items. One was to improve the county's recycling, and the second to work on a completed 4-lane highway between Somerset and Route 68 in Maryland. The recycling has not improved as much as I would have liked, although we have extended our probation department's program into several new communities. I regret that because of the excessive cost of servicing the blue bins at the northern end of the county, we were unable to continue the service. The cost to operate that program at 3 sites could have cost the county over $35,000 a year, and as fiscally responsible commissioners, we agreed that $35,000 was too high of a price to pay for that service from Cambria County. In 2009, the county collected and recycled almost 2,000 tires and actually made a small profit of $230. This year, a prescription drug collection is planned, and a hazardous materials collection is also planned for later in the summer. Our solid waste plan is at its final stages and should be approved by early summer. My goal is to further improve the county's recycling programs through the probation department. My second priority was and still is to see the completed 4-lane Route 219 from Somerset to Route 68 in Maryland. In January of 2008, days after I was sworn into office, Southern Alleghenies removed 219 from the tip. That year, the commissioners went to Harrisburg and met with Governor Rendell, who, with the help of Senators Kucinich and Wozniak and Representative Bob Bastian, were able to secure $35 million in a 2008 bond issue. The $35 million is some of the money currently being used to buy rights-of-way for the Myersdale section, which, by the way, as of last Friday, were all secured but 3. In 2009, I joined the newly formed North-South Appalachian Highway Coalition, made of leaders from Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Our goal is the completion of Route 219 from Somerset to Route 68 in Maryland. We have made 3 trips to Washington, D.C. at no cost to the county, and to educate Congress on the need to restore the toll credit language into the next transportation bill. In 2009, I also joined the Continental One Board, along with Glenn Miller, Henry Cook, and Ron Oldham. 2 weeks ago, Congressman Schuster introduced legislation that would restore the use of toll credits to the Appalachian Highway Development States. We 3 commissioners have lobbied the congressman for such legislation and thank him very much for his efforts. We pray he can be successful. One of my other special projects, as many of you already know, was to take the suggestion of a county resident and I worked to get 22 tons of steel from the dragline at the Flight 93 crash site into the USS Somerset, which is to be christened in the fall of this year in New Orleans. As I said at our last meeting when we met, all these trips I have made outside of the county I've done at my own expense. There has been no expense to the taxpayers whatsoever. The commissioners have tried very hard to cut expenses. We have had a hiring freeze for the last 2 years and have replaced several full-time positions with part-time positions. Our most recent decisions not to replace an employee saved the county over $60,000 in wages and benefits. We have many projects yet to be completed, including Ralston, Stoystown, the Clear infrastructure projects, as well as airport improvements and the Laurel Highlands Business Park. In closing, I could go on, but I think you get the idea how committed we commissioners are to the success of our county. Last Thursday, a representative from Comcast gave us what we all took as a compliment by saying that we were so busy it took her over 2 weeks to schedule a meeting with the 3 of us. We truly do work hard and work together, and I would ask that you help us return to continue the good work we have done for the county for another 4 years. Thank you so much for your time and your attention this evening. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak with you. Thank you.